Hello and welcome to Fire Them Cannons episode 24. And today we're going to be doing a bit of a match reaction and discussion concerning our last game, which was against Wolves, our performance there, what we need to improve, what did we like, what we disliked. And kick on from there. Spoiler alert, no one's really puffing out their chest after performance like that. But anyway, we'll get into it once we get into it. Please, if you want to consider supporting the channel, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you look to the bottom left and right, there's QR codes where it links to our individual channels. Anton here, HotSport.
We swapped around, so we're confusing the crap out of everybody.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. And so Anton, how you feeling, buddy? How you doing?
Yeah, to be honest, it's been a very rough couple of days in my community, and of course for the country that me and Cal live. If you guys don't know, we live in Australia, and something happened on Saturday. If you guys don't know the news, it's been I imagine it's pretty public by now. Yeah, we've had our first public shooting in this country over 30 years. In fact, the last one resulted in there being a firearm ban across this country. And for me, this one's a little bit personal because actually what happened was, look, I don't want to touch too much on this situation because, everyone's got their own views on the world and how it works. But what I would say is just, it's the holiday season, and for people to be shooting down others because for having a Hanukkah event is just terrible. Can you imagine if people hate it? Like Cal, well, just to relate to Cal's a Christian. Can you imagine for Cal if, he had friends who went to a Christmas event and some asshole sorry to swear, but just the way I feel, decides to start to pull out a gun and shoot down 10 to 12 people. And the only reason why it was only that amount is because there's a man who was a hero who tackled him to the ground. He's not going to be hospitalized himself, who stopped it from happening. And it's not just that. There are people going out to the beach. This is a tragic thing that's happened. And I do feel as if, there has been a bad rap, like whatever's been going on between Israel and Palestine. That's definitely not something I want to discuss today. But however anybody feels about that, the people who were at the beach on Sunday have got absolutely no connections to that whatsoever and should not be paying the price for people taking their own agendas and deciding who lives or dies. And I just want to take a moment in time to just to remember the people who died. There are actually some people in here who actually knew personally, who are close friends with my father, and it's actually just very heartbreaking. But I'm going to keep those certain individuals' names. Obviously, I'm going to read them out, but I'm going to tell you who's connected to me because I think I think it's hard for me to spit out. But yeah, we're going to have a moment of silence now, but I want to read out the 10 people who have died. There are 2 people who are also just very much hospitalized at the moment and could also be potentially going there as well. But there's a girl named Matilda. She's a 10-year-old girl. She was the youngest who died in the attack. There's a lady named Edith. She was a Jewish community service worker, and she was the vice president of the B'nai B'rith, which is it's the organization who organized the event to begin with. There's Alex Clayton, an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor. Peter Meager, former New South Wales police officer and rugby volunteer. Reuben Morrison, community member who died trying to protect others. Ellie Schlager, who's the rabbi father and event coordinator. Yaakov Levitzin, rabbi and community leader. Marika Pogani, a 82-year-old volunteer and community contributor. Tibor Weitzman, 78-year-old great-grandfather, and Dan Elikayam, who is a French citizen and local football player. So some of these people are also people who are just there for a day at the beach. It's absolutely tragic. And I just think that it's something that should not be tolerated wherever you are in any walk of life. and especially in a country like this where we are so multicultural, and we're supposed to be celebrating the ability to kind of share and be diverse. And the fact that somebody has maybe, I don't know what person, I can't really give an explanation or tap into the mind of a person who would behave like this, but whatever it is, it's not appropriate. So I would like, just for a minute, guys, for us to just have a minute of silence, and then Cal will take over and we'll do the rest of the pod.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, we just wanted to talk about that first, just because this is in Australia. It's just a bit closer to home to us, and we felt the need to kind of just just talk about it, because it's just it feels different. It feels different. It didn't feel right to just not say anything about it. So now that we've kind of spoken about it,
There
let's
also
get
a few
into the football.
people. I appreciate Lou and Tyrell for your
Yep,
kind words, guys. If
yep,
you
yep,
don't mind reading those out, but
yep, yep. And Tyrell, he's always been here. He says big up, which is awesome. And Lou, she says, getting ready for work, smash a like, sending love. What a devastating situation. Thank you, Lou. And Tyrell again says, yeah, boys, over in the UK, we saw what happened. It's sad, honestly. Yeah, it's very sad. And hopefully something changes, thankfully we live in a country that takes action when these types of things happen, and hopefully that happens as well. And in more, well, less real
different
world
type.
devastating news, but
Yeah.
more in terms of footballing crap news, was our performance against Wolves. Oh, our performance against Wolves. That was
Mm,
not something I saw coming. I predicted
mm.
4-0.
Same.
4-0 against Wolves.
We need a moment of
I couldn't.
silence for our
Yeah, what was silence? Dude, oh dude, it's not great. It's not it's not great. Um okay, let's just.
to be honest, guys, we're morning, so we still won the damn game, which is the funniest part.
Yeah,
But
it's we won the game, but
my sentiments are exactly the same as you, my brother.
it
So
was
it's
the
not silly at all.
worst. It was actually, bar none, the worst win I've ever seen us get. I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
Wolves scored
hard to
3
win.
goals, 2 own goals. We
Like, we were sitting
concede
here
in the
predicting
last
4-0, and not one
we
Arsenal player actually found the back of the net
we
against the worst
conceded
defense
in
in
the
the
last
Premier League.
4 minutes of the game.
Yeah. We really got, but we got gotta get
Anton,
into
like,
this stuff though, man.
um, how are you feeling about the game, the performance? What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah. Look, I'm going to try my best to be as balanced as I can in both directions, because I think that massive criticism needs to be made on these players and on the manager, I think, as well. But also, I think that you have to give some credit to Wolves, because I mean, we carried them out, and they played some. Let's be honest, Rob Edwards played a blinder in terms of his tactics for the game, but that shouldn't be what Arsenal's issue is. To be honest, like, I'll start with the positives, and the positives is, and this is there's literally one, and I think Cal would have the exact same one, and that is, after Wolves did equalize, we didn't keep our heads down. The players themselves, they kept going, and we responded right away, and we scored the winner. Because had that result stayed at 1-1, it would have been an absolute backbreaker for our title charge. Like, Man City won the next day 3-0, so they would have gone ahead on goal difference, and they would have creeped ahead, and it would have been awful, honestly. And I think maybe in terms of the fan base, it's already starting to be a little bit anxious and PTSD from past seasons, but that would have been so much worse. So I have to big up, I think, Bukayo Saka as well. Like, the heads up play to be able to put the ball in the area where Jesus could challenge for the ball and Mascara couldn't put it in the back of the net. And in seasons gone by, maybe we would have just put our heads down and be like, fuck, and dropped points. And instead, we did end up winning the game. What bothers me is that if it was so easy to break down that defense, why? Like, that's what annoys me. I don't know if you feel this way, and we'll get into your breakdown. And I think we're going to go through a lot more of what went wrong in this game. But for me, we were able to make it. We went 1-1. We're like, okay, we need a goal. Did it so easy. Why weren't we doing that the whole freaking game? Like, the way I think there are many explanations, and if I make them, they're going to sound like excuses. But I felt like Arsenal players themselves felt pressure to destroy this Wolves team and completely overthought everything. We forced balls in that were like, we didn't properly read the pitch. We didn't notice the positioning of Wolves' defense. We were trying to force balls at the top or through balls, and they were literally going out for goal kicks or going beyond Gyökeres or going beyond Saka. And like, Zubamendi and I think this is Rice's worst game in an Arsenal shirt, to be honest. And it wasn't a bad game, by the way. Rice probably had a 6, which is his worst ever game. But some of the decisions, some of the passes that he was trying to pull off were absolutely nuts. And I didn't like the fact that against Wolves, we are trying the long throw tactic. Now, generally the whole year, I have defended the long throw tactic. I've said, we're trying different things. But against Wolves, why are we not just trying to beat them with our talent? Why are we not
To
moving
be
the ball
honest, our
around?
long throws aren't even that dangerous. We don't have anyone that could really launch it in there, to
Yeah.
be honest with you.
It's like we ran out of ideas so freaking early. Like, I'm not even talking about the second half where we're desperate. I'm talking about the 13th minute. Like, we are so overthinking how to beat this team because there's this idea, and I feel like, I wonder if you agree with me, like, that we had so much pressure to smash this team, and they were trying, and we played it, by the way, played a full strength lineup basically, with the exception of like Calafiori, who was out with a suspension. But beyond that, that's as full strength as you can probably go. Maybe Odegaard was on the bench, whatever. But that's probably as full strength as we probably can go. And we couldn't break down the worst defense in the league. Like, for me, like, as much as I try to give us excuses, it's just not acceptable. The level that we're expecting to be a championship team, it's not acceptable. And you're going to hear it from me. And I've been Mr. Positive, and I'm literally trying, Cal, my hardest to find them, but I just can't. And the attack was just toothless. And yes, I am going to say this before I flip this over to you. We did not do a good enough job of trying to play our striker in, regardless of how you feel about Gyökeres, and we're going to get into that later. We didn't utilize him. By the way, I was so funny. Ash and me and Ash, we go back and forth, but he was asking me to see his video. So give him his thoughts on what he thought about the offside thing, and just kind of give him feedback on his video. And in his video, he's showing me stills of that offside thing. And Victor Gyökeres is in the perfect position, completely onside to score. And Saka composes himself in those moments. You've got to tap in. And there are a few other moments like that as well. Like, and we need to be, whatever you think it is, like, if you want to be the man, I get you, but you got to be working as a team. You got to be doing what's best for the team and trying to create the highest percentage opportunities of scoring goals. And for me, it was just absolutely, I feel flat, and we won. So what do you think, my bro?
Okay, first of all, I'm just happy I got out of there with the 3 points. Um, conceding in that last minute, I was looking around the house to break something. I was like, what can I afford to break right now? I was so upset. It's like I was so devastated when that goal went in for them, and thank God we actually we ended up scoring. Well, they ended up scoring. In the end there. Okay. Just my thoughts on the game. I think just starts with the positives. Bukayo Saka.
I didn't mention
If you
that, but
don't know, now you know. He is the guy. Okay. Bukayo Saka is the guy. No one, absolutely no one in that team deserves credit except Saka. Probably the only other person is Ra because it's not his fault that we weren't breaking them down.
mm.
Saka. That's the only positive for me. In terms of everything else, okay. Eze, he never got into the game.
Oh, Eze was one of those who's forcing passes and like going
Yeah,
nowhere. Oh,
Eze, wasn't getting into the game. Odegaard, not good enough. I'm sorry. Um,
I mean, Odegaard came off the bench though. I actually think if anything, anyway, I'll let you go on there.
yeah, Odegaard, I don't think he did well when he came on or off.
Mm.
Uh, Declan Rice, it was a pretty underwhelming performance by him. Gyökeres, he wasn't getting played into the game. No one's helping him. But like I think I'm starting to think in that striking position we might need someone who could create something from nothing because Gyökeres isn't going to bail us out. Like he's not.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I feel that's the type of players that we need in this club right now. We need people to just bail us out. That's what Saka did, by the way. He bailed us out. Defensively, I mean, we really didn't have to do anything. It's just we couldn't break down their low block, but their low block wasn't even that tough, to be honest with you. Wasn't as resolute as some of the middle low blocks I've seen. I've seen us break down harder teams this season. I think this was just a poor individual performance by the players. I don't actually blame Arteta too much for this. I thought we lacked energy. When I was looking at Arteta on the sidelines, I thought he was pretty upset. To be honest, he was like screaming his head off, like waving his hands. When he made his subs, he subbed like three players at once. He never does that. The only times he does that is when he's not happy. So yeah, and also Ben White got injured in the game, which is not the greatest. But yeah, I think the only positive is Bukayo Saka and the 3 points, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean, I think there are a few other players I think that, like, for instance, Jay-Z's played his part. Sorry, I've just been drinking. Jay-Z's definitely played his part in that goal. Like, for instance, watching it live, I actually thought he put it in. But regardless, he obviously makes Mascara have to make a clearance at the ball, which goes into the back of the net. So I think he was good heads up from him. I think he did show that he was the type of player who's been in a title race before, who's gotten over the line. And I think that experience of him coming on, like, I know we're going to sit here when we talk about Gyökeres before, but we cannot as well like take away from the impact that Jesus did have in this game. Yeah, and again, the moment that I can only take that was a positive was the moment we responded to score a goal. We were only good in the final 60 seconds of the game. And they were 96 minutes overall. Through 95 of them, we were absolute horseshit. We were good for the last 60 seconds of the game. We were able to salvage that and make that 3 points. The rest of it, I don't even want to talk about it. Like it was so bad. We do need to, because we need to kind of figure out what's going on right now. And
to be honest with you, I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble trying to figure out what went wrong.
I mean, like, again, as you gotta say, you have to credit Wolves a little bit, because there's a blueprint. Like, this is the thing that people don't get, and we always complain about teams who sit 10 behind the ball, right? But what teams do in preparation for any team is take a look at other teams and seeing what has been successful against this team. That's called game planning. What Wolves know that if they come out and try to play football, they are going to get absolutely hosed off the park. They know that, right? So for anybody who's complaining about how Wolves are going on, the Wolves, what their job is to do is to put themselves in the best possible position for them to be able to get something out of the game. I mean, they're not supposed to just show up, roll over, and let Arsenal just do whatever they want to do. So you have to kind of take that into context. There are two teams on the pitch, but what the problem that it is for me is Arsenal. We need to adjust. So if there's a blueprint out for things that we've done, we clearly need to then review and be like, okay, if this team pulls out these tactics again, what is our counter? And for me, that is what bothered me a little bit in this. It's just like, okay, we can make excuses for like, oh yeah, whatever, they had a low block, blah blah blah. I'm not having that at this point in the season. We're in December, like, and this is Wolves.
Yeah. I just took a look at the lineup again just to remind myself, because honestly, the players, no one, it was such a dead game. I have trouble remembering who started, who didn't start. Um, I think one of the things he did, as well, one thing I would kind of scratching my head over is why he started Zubimendi and Rice. When we clearly don't need to be that defensively sound against Wolves. I think trying an Eze and Odegaard probably would have. I think now would have been a good time to do it. Um, I would have, yeah, I would have played Rice as a just in the center there, and then maybe play Odegaard and Eze, just so we could, I don't know, we have more creativity, because we were never gonna need that many defenders. You know what I'm saying? We were never, yeah, that was never gonna be a problem. Like the only thing we'd ever have to deal with is them on the counter attack, and let's face it, they're not that good at it. They're not really good at anything right now, Wolves. Um, so
Literally.
and
The thing is
also
that they're
just a
talking
bit of
about
a
that.
bit of a
Yeah.
like another thing as well.
Mm.
This what's this Encapié? He's again at fault for another goal.
Mm.
Something's like you need to get your head in the game, buddy. I don't know if
Yeah.
this center back
You know
position is
what's
for
crazy
him.
though, Cal, is that overall, before that moment, and I think in many of these games, Incapie has actually been very, very solid in most of these games. And he's just got these bozo moments this year. Not one called bozo moments, but he just happens to be the
It's bozo
one.
moments.
Okay, whatever. But I don't see, the problem is when I say that is that I don't like to use harsh language in general.
Bozo is not that harsh, bro. Calling him an idiot, no low IQ player is harsh. Saying that he's
Oh,
a bozo at times. We're not even calling him a bozo. We're
yeah.
saying he had bozo
Look,
moments.
guys, this is something that I hate to do this, but I've noticed that whenever Miles Lewis Skelly is on the pitch, like in defense recently, as a sub, we have been very, very, very vulnerable. Like, and this time, like the moment against Villa, I saw the switch where he came in, and it's not him, by the way. Like when you have Gabriel and Saliba there, Miles Lewis Skelly, like he's played really well this season at times when you had that partnership in there. But when you have a back four that's kind of switching around, and you got an Capier at left center back who's not really used to playing that in the league, and then you got a Miles Lewis Skelly, it just kind of leaves us a little bit vulnerable. I do feel that if you have that Calafiori and Hincapié there, I think it's a little bit different with Calafiori. But like one thing that's majorly underplayed here, and at the same time, I actually don't think throughout the whole game that we defended so poorly or really had to. Like that was the one time in the game where, well, I think it was the only shot on target they had, by the way. But when Ben White comes out And originally we start out with Timber at left back. No, Hincapié at left back. We had Saliba at left center back, Timber at right center back, and we had Ben White at right back. When Ben White came off for Miles Lewis-Skelly, Timber switches from right center back to right back. That's one change to your defense. Then Saliba goes from left center back to right center back. That's two changes to your defense. Hincapié goes from left back to left center back, 3. And then, of course, you have Miles Lewis-Skelly. So that completely destabilizes how you planned or come out to play. Like, everyone was playing one position to start the game, and now is playing a completely different position and having to shift over by one spot. That does destabilize the back line. Now, were we that bad having done that? Probably not. But at the same time, I do think that players like Hincapié are vulnerable in those moments. I just think I noticed, like as I said, when the Villa, that happens as well. And yeah, I think it was it Chelsea as well. He brought him on at the halftime mark, or he brought him on for Calafiori in the Chelsea game too.
Yeah, and he looked very vulnerable.
Yeah. Look, I think Lewis-Skelly is fine when he starts the game, but when you bring him as a sub like this, I don't think he brings you the solidity that other players might do coming off the bench. He doesn't.
I think he needs to work his way into the game.
Yeah,
he's not someone you can just plug and play.
Yeah, but I do think
I'm not gonna blame Hincapié's
mistake. No.
MLS.
I'm not doing that either. I'm just trying to analyze the game and try to figure out where things could have been wrong and where we.
Well, to be honest, it was just one moment. And I think that was just a bad moment. A bad moment for him, and he just needs to.
Oh, I think Skelly had a good game in general.
I don't think he did. I don't think anyone had a good game, bar Saka, to be honest with you. And I think Trossard was trying to do some, actually a little bit. Trossard was trying. But yeah, like to be honest, there's not really that much to talk about in terms of tactically. I think it was a boring game. Not much happened. It was literally just us moving the ball slowly, not progressing the ball quickly, no energy, no pace. It didn't feel like they didn't feel like they were pushing to get that goal, which is just frustrating. I felt like they almost thought that we're just gonna score eventually. Like it didn't. There wasn't that sense of urgency that you'd want from the team. And I think, like, guys, you're not prime Barca. You need to fight.
Yeah. You know
if
what,
you
Cal,
want to break down these teams.
I was thinking about this, and I wonder your take on this, because Terry said this on the post-match. He also said it today as well, which is, it may have sounded a little bit arrogant from us fans saying we wanted to have rotation and have other players in this game. But I do kind of feel like, and when Terry said it, I kind of agreed that if he would have played some of those other players, they have more of a point to prove. They have more, fire within their belly to try to win spots. And that's why sometimes it's good to rotate to those guys, because to be honest, we might look at the lineup and go, wow, Arteta's gone strong, which is why I can't fully fault Arteta, because he's taken Wolves seriously with his lineup.
No,
but the players who played overlooked Wolves.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think I give my 100% today.
Yeah. For me, it's like you can't blame Arteta. If Arteta's out here putting out one of the strongest squads he can to beat bottom of the table Wolves, he's obviously he felt like he wants to win the game. He's trying to go out there and win the football game. He's not trying to rotate. He's not trying to do anything. So he wanted to put on a really, really strong team, especially because he knew we were gonna have like a week off anyway. So yeah, I think it's on the players. And like, seeing that we're still talking about the players, I think it's time we kind of hop onto the next big talking point. We're gonna talk about this whole Gyökeres situation again. And we're still talking about it because it's something that keeps popping up. Our fan base, our own fans are turning on the guy.
Maybe we should start with there before we actually get into what on the pitch, because I have something to say about that, Cal, if that's okay.
Yeah. I'm just kind of just introducing the topic.
Yeah,
I'm just want to say, like, our fans are turning on him. There's this discussion on whether Should we change to suit him? Should he change to suit us? Before we get into those kind of overarching discussions, that's like just you wanted to talk about his performance in the game specifically first.
I wanted to talk about actually about the fans in the game, and it's not necessarily just like we could talk about his performance, and I think it's important to do that. But I
Yeah,
just this is what's annoying me, and it happens in the stadium, and it doesn't help his performances at all. Like remember, these people are human, and what I don't like, and I notice it by the way, I it's not just the people who are messaging me in our group chat saying, we're all saying he should come off. We're all yelling at him, hey, you should come off, blah blah blah, and and I'm just like, well, that where there's your problem because you have a player who's struggling on confidence, and all of us are just scapegoating him. We're yelling profanities at him. We're telling him he's fat or whatever you just happen, or saying, "Hey, get him off, get him off." And what you should be doing is just singing his name, singing that song that we wrote for him, singing his name, encouraging him, and it's not just that. It's not just Gyökeres, by the way. I've noticed this about the whole tone, the vibe in the stadium. And by the way, I love you guys. You're all our Gooners. Like you're a brothers, sisters, Gooner family, right? And I only say this out of love because we're trying to get our house together, right? All right. We all expect you guys all have high expectation of the lineup and beating smashing Wolves, right? But I do kind of feel like and I know this in my own job. Whenever people make you anxious or people put extra pressure on you or sit above you while you're trying to work, all of a sudden you start doing some uncharacteristic shit. Like you start being like under pressure and you feel anxious, you're kind of annoyed, and you you're not really being able to properly do your job because people are putting you under the pump. And I felt like a lot of those misplaced passes from the team also were met with a very loud, collective, anxious sighs. And I'm talking about it from like minute 3, minute 5, minute 8. I'm like I've rewatched this game, and I
you
literally
rewatched the
timestamp.
game.
I
Oh
did. I
man,
have
you're a
to. I'm committed to the job, right?
yeah,
But
dude.
I'm
Dude,
for
I
the first
couldn't do it.
time, I'm actually listening to crowd noises as well, and I'm hearing from like, and it's like you're driving the like some. I can understand now why some of these passes are a little bit too quick, a little bit too forced, because the crowd is acting so PTSD and so anxious. It's ridiculous. So I do think that we need to take as a fan base a little bit part of the blame on this. Like at the end of the day, as crap as Wolves have been, they're still a Premier League team, and you still kind of got to let your players get into their rhythm rather than just jumping on their necks with. And I get it, you haven't even said a word, you're just breathing in and breathing out, but maybe we just need to just relax and calm down because you're pumping in this anxiety into the stadium and it's translating to the players on the pitch. It's not an excuse. I'm just saying that we need to do our part a little bit as fans, and I think it also comes into this Gyökeres thing. But now, yeah, I'm happy to go and talk about Gyökeres and performance and everything like that. But I just feel like I had to say that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And to be honest with you, I know you're trying to rally the fans and stuff like that, but until we win something, I don't think that's going to change. It's the
Mm.
anxieties, and every second of every day that we don't win something, whether fairly or unfairly, we haven't even had the opportunity to win something this season. It's just going to be the PTSD settings. It's just going to be the anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's just the way it is. And in terms of Gyökeres's actual performance in the game, he didn't really have much to do. I don't think, as keep saying, he's not getting the service that I think he should be getting. And even when he was given the ball, I remember like when we were on the transition, he just kicks the ball into the Wolves defender, because he's just not on it. He's not getting enough touches, and I don't think, you know, he was great either. But it's
No,
also the
yeah,
fact that he's not getting service as well. So it's a bit of both. And it's we've seen this before, in terms of talking about his individual performance. And yeah, like for me personally, I was having conversations about this, you know, and we've been having conversations in group chats and stuff like that. And in my opinion, I feel like if we don't integrate him into the team, we will suffer in the long run. Um, I just don't think Havertz
Mm.
and Jesus are the answers because they haven't been the answers. And I feel like if we want to, for the benefit of the team, long term, I think we should just continue to play him and continue to integrate with him and find a solution. Unless
Mm.
the solution is buy a different striker in the January transfer window,
I
that
think
he's
just
our
congesting the
striker.
squad.
You know what I'm saying? We need to help us because we need him.
Yeah, I agree. Like a lot of the conversation, but sorry for my overall tone today. Like as we began the show, you realize that there's a lot of stuff going on where we live and to people I personally know. So there is a little bit extra emotion going on here. So I am going to try my best to, you know, to give you objective analysis and not be so overly emotional about everything. But again, this is just football. But one thing I'd say what you're saying is you're hitting it spot on because the minute we're sitting here, we're like, oh, let's change him out. Let's change him. Let's put Havertz. Let's put Jesus. First of all, we're making multiple errors in one, and you're not properly looking into the game. Number one, Jesus, as I mentioned in our last pod, this has had three major knee injuries. Major. We're talking about reconstructive surgery. We're talking about MCL, ACL, LCL, everything that got to do with the knee. He's injured over the last 3 years, since he's been at this club. And he's coming back from another one again. And what happened last time, if you recall, is a certain Kai Havertz got injured. So we end up having to suddenly put Jesus in this team week in, week out, midweek, weekend, midweek. And what happened? He got injured. So for like what Jesus is going to be is what he's been so far is a great impact substitute. Because he's so tricky, because he's got so much to his game, because he can create his own shot. He's probably the best technical dribbler in the team. I would say Eze is probably up there as well with him as well, and I think Trossard to an extent. But Jesus is just next level, and he moves defenders. He makes defenders anxious. But that's a great option to bring off the bench, and I think we can start him occasionally. But if you think that he's going to be the number 9 now, that you can start week in and week out, you're setting him up for a fourth major injury. I'm just saying. The other part of this is Kai Havertz. And the Kai Havertz book has been completely rewritten. It's insane.
Yes.
I was watching him last year over 2 legs against Newcastle. And do you know why we went out in the semifinal? Because Kai Havertz blew literally the most easiest chances multiple times in both games. And we're missing him in critical junctures or critical points of the game. The Man United game in the FA Cup as well. First off, he misses the penalty, which loses us the game. And the other thing is like he's literally got missing sitters. I reckon about 6 or 7 sitters in that game. It was
Kai
ridiculous.
Havertz was responsible for literally, and I blame him.
But I'm like,
for getting us knocked out of 2 competitions.
I get it. He's bulked up. He had a
back.
really nice goal on the counterattack against Athletic Bilbao. Great. But overall, there's another player coming back from injury. So when he returns, Arteta's going to manage his minutes. Just like, by the way, ironically, he's doing with Gyökeres now. So you notice Gyökeres came off the bench. Then he got 60 minutes. Then he got 70 minutes. And we said exactly that on our pod, that we expect him to come off at 70 minutes. Like it's so if you guys think, oh, Arteta take him off because he's crap. No, Arteta is doing what he's doing right by the player. And he's even
also
said,
we need to, I mean, Jesus needs minutes as well,
Yeah, exactly.
And
at the same time.
it's no
It's a team
secret that
game.
we're trying to sell him eventually, whether it be in January or in the summer. And he needs to play if we want to get anything for it. So that's pretty obvious. Let's be honest, guys.
Like honestly,
I
we need to support him.
I don't like the revisionism on Havertz. I don't like the revisionism on Jesus. I just I just want us to appreciate the players that we do have, and we as a fan base, as a collective, we were all screaming out for a striker, and
Hmm.
went out there and got the top goal scorer in Europe. And because he hasn't, you know, he got injured, let's not forget, but because he's not working out exactly the way people want from the very start, we're turning on him like rabid dogs, and I just disagree with that fundamentally.
Yeah, but like
Um,
another day, guys, we want to win the league here. We're trying to do something very, very important, like in terms of for our club, for where we want to do it in going forward. Like I think if we win a title this year, I think it makes future seasons a lot easier because I don't think that anxiety is in the crowd if you're sitting there as the champion with gold patches. Um, and but at the same time, Cal, as you said earlier, right? If you want to get the best out of Gyökeres now, you have to just let it ride out. He's not. By the way, he's not the only. He doesn't have to necessarily score goals. That's the other thing that drives me crazy, right? Okay, this Wolves game. Forget about this Wolves game. The whole team was crap. Like that's one thing that drives me nuts is that Zubamendi. But we didn't even mention his name. Zubamendi. I mean, for the first time this season, the negative Dan's analysis on Zubamendi would have been right for this game. Okay, like he was in terms of his play and him being able to try to play the ball in and the balls over the top and getting intercepted. He was so bad. He was off. I was off rhythm, off time. He was bad. But we're gonna sit here and blame the striker. But in other games, what the striker has done is create space for others, and everybody's mocked that. Oh well, if you want to, then you could have played Kai Havertz, and he does it in different ways. But eventually, he's going to score, and eventually, like honestly, I actually do think that he's going to come good. I'm just going to say I do
yeah,
think he is.
I think he
He's
is.
going to have a game where all
All
of a sudden
we
everything
need to do
clicks.
is have patience and believe. I honestly believe that, as long as Arteta keeps playing him and just ignore the haters, just keep playing him, he will come good. Out the 777 says Arsenal fans who are calling out Gyökeres, one question for them: why didn't they do the same with Havertz? He had a horrendous time till January.
Alt the
Okay,
7777. Yeah, whatever you
yeah.
said. But,
And then he says, back your players. We got four strikers with different qualities. When we unlock them, we move like Bolt in a marathon. This
I
one,
agree.
and to be honest with you, Alt, like I think our fans just pivot to players that they hate. They just pivot. I think they either pivot or attach themselves. I think Havertz lovers will love him whether he does well or not. And then there's like the other set of players who are they hated on Havertz, but Havertz hasn't played in a while, so they're just gonna hate on Gyökeres.
Yeah,
And if Gyökeres gets dropped and then Havertz plays and then Havertz misses scissors, they're gonna start hating on Havertz again.
yeah.
It's just the way it goes sometimes, man. We don't. Yeah, it's a really really unfortunate thing
And
with our
also,
fan base.
I think that they actually were hating on Havertz. That's the thing that annoys me about this conversation is they actually were hating on Havertz, and they were hating on him before he scored. He he was the biggest scapegoat in 2023-24. He was the most hated player on the team because
Oh
he
yeah,
came from
because he
Chelsea.
was horrible for that first half, most
Yeah,
definitely.
but at the same
And
time,
the
that's
thing
another
the
example of a
thing
player
about
whose
okay,
confidence was
the
on the
thing okay,
floor.
I'm gonna defend the Havertz hate. Why I will defend the Havertz hate when he started, it's because he's not what we wanted. He was extremely expensive. He came from our rivals, and no one saw any potential. So no one believed that he was the right player. He comes in, and he's not the right player.
Mm,
So then you get to a situation where it's like I told you so. What makes the Eucharist situation even more infuriating is the fact that we've been begging for this striker, this out and out nine. We need an out and out nine. We need an out and out nine. And we get it. The club went go out there. They get the best that they possibly could. He's in the team. It's not like he hasn't scored any goals. He's having a bit of a rough patch. Our players aren't playing him. They aren't passing the ball to him. He's having very few touches. Guess why? Because they're not giving him the ball. It's not like he's losing the ball. They're not giving him the ball. And now they're turning on him. So it's
Yeah.
It's a little different.
One thing I'm just a little bit annoyed about, and I think that we need to watch it, is that we don't want to be this. I kind of was touching on my point earlier, like the cause of our own downfall. Like at some point, regardless, like we need to at least just back these players and just be
Yeah,
positive, and
I think,
because
and
we can
Chelsea,
prevent
especially
ourselves
Chelsea
from winning the
fans do
league.
that all the time. I like they keep saying Enzo Fernandez is a good player. I hate like Enzo Fernandez, bro. Like I don't know what he does, but they keep backing him. They back their players.
Yeah. Well, to be
PG
honest,
says, oh yeah,
we can
continue.
learn from them.
PG says, I'm tired of our long throws. We take too long to take them, which allows the opposition to settle down in shape. Everything slows down in instant of constant pressure. Yeah, I don't like our long throws. It's not that I hate long throws. I don't like our long throws because I don't think we have a guy that can actually throw it in there and make enough of a splash. Like the Sunderland guys, like their long throws are so much more dangerous because they
Mhm.
throw it in there and it's basically a corner and it's just caused so much chaos. Our long throws can't make it past the first defender. So it's kind of
Yeah.
pointless. So I'm not against long throws, I'm against our long throws.
Yeah, no, that's the funny part about the narratives about the club is like they were being salty about long throws as if he was actually working for us.
Um, I rate Havertz. Alt says I rate Havertz, but not for the money we paid for him. Plus, the easy chances he has missed at important times in games. Newcastle, Carabao Cup, United. Yes, that's what I was saying, man. He like this is these are the memories. Like people are saying, oh, when you get Havertz, we're gonna cook. Forgetting that last season he single-handedly knocked us out of two competitions. And the reason I don't normally lay losses at the feet of players, but when you are literally missing penalties and missing tap-ins back to back, and you're knocking us out of these competitions, that's when
One on
I'm
ones as
upset.
well. One on ones.
And the fact that he would get bodied all the time, every time he got free he would trip over his own 2 feet and try to foul bait and not win the foul. Like people have such short memories, man. I'm not doing the Havertz
Oh my
revisionism. I
god.
refuse.
It's so like but the thing that just drives me crazy is this, Cal. Victor Gyökeres is clearly a great player. You don't score the amount of goals that he did without being a great player. And by the way, I was thinking about this as Terry was talking today on the sixth side about it. A change of league does not change your pace. It does not change your ability, your technical ability on the ball. It does not change your all your skills, your ability to shoot. What it does is it means that the defense is a little bit harder. But one thing is that annoys me is that okay, maybe the pace of the league is a little bit slower in the Portuguese league, but Gyökeres isn't even like getting the ball in the right spaces in the right areas. Sporting did what they can, right, to feed him. They got him runs in the behind. But this is not just the Premier League. It's not just whatever the Portuguese league. He scored a hat trick last season against Manchester City. Last year he was spinning Saliba on his way to
I
a one
remember
on
that
one on goal.
against Sporting, he like blasted past Kivio and then blasted past Saliba, got a shot
This is
off.
this is a guy that people saying he's got no
Yeah,
technical ability, no IQ. He's got it. At the moment,
yeah,
he's just low on confidence. Like when I'd rather go for something that I know that over time is going to work rather than trying to go back to something that I already know 100% does not
yeah,
work.
yeah, man. It's what I was saying. It's like people want to go back to, hey, I think Quest in the group chat was saying, he was saying something. He said, "Oh, we should probably just go back to what was working." And I said, that's why I messaged. I said, what was working? We didn't win anything using those systems. We have
Hmm.
to evolve. We have to change. If we don't change and adapt, we die. That's
Yeah.
just what's going to happen, man. Like we can't continue playing the same type of football and expect different results
Like the thing
because
is what people don't.
it's not like
Yeah.
you can't go back to the players that you thought weren't good enough and then expect to win. Like
What people don't realize, and look, I've supported teams that have gone over the line, And what they have had to do to go over the line, I'll give you an example. The Philadelphia Eagles, right? Went to the Super Bowl, they lost to the Chiefs. The next year, they had a disastrous end of the season. But one thing that the Eagles did not do or did not unlock is the ability to run the ball. What did they do? They got Saquon Barkley, the most elite running back in the league. Saquon Barkley literally was the reason he changed the offense to suit him, and it led them to winning it all. What did Arsenal in the same situation? What were we lacking? We were lacking a clinical finisher, a striker, right? But instead of, we bought this striker and we're not doing what we can to get him in. I don't like this. This is what I don't like, right? If you're making transfer plans, this is what people don't understand. Is when you're moving as a club, you making a plan across the board. You don't buy a player without a plan for him. I refuse to believe there is no plan for him. This is what annoys me. People go, he just doesn't fit into what we're trying to do, into Arteta's system. And I'm hearing Arteta say with his own mouth, being like, we are trying to do what we can to get, to get Victor Yuk to work towards his strengths. We're trying to fit a middle ground. The player has to do what he can to try to adapt to the players that are playing around him, but we're also going to do our best to adapt to playing with him. And that doesn't happen overnight. And I do think that overall, the long-term plan, what you think is Arteta's stubborn of attack, because we've seen us try a variety of different things this year already in attack. We're not mentioning, we're just saying we're sticking to one thing. Like, we don't buy a Breche Eze to play the way that we were playing before. I'm sorry. We just don't. And so, like, it's a lie. It's not true that he just doesn't fit into our system. He's never going to fit into our system. We go to training, we go to the tactics board, we review all this stuff. You look at film, everybody has to work to try to adjust everything. And that happens behind the scenes. You're not giving this club enough credit. You said, well, we're just going to be stubborn. Arteta only wants to play one way and he doesn't fit that way. So he needs to change the way he plays. And it's like, well, then you're not getting the best out of the player.
We didn't buy him to be a false nine, guys. Like, come on. Like, let's be real. Alt says we don't play through central areas. Most of our attack is from the flanks and crosses. It's true. We need to unlock the central areas, then we will unlock the attack. Exactly, and that's where I think
well said.
And that's why I thought it would have been good to play Eze and Odegaard today, because I thought both of them would at least try to get the ball to him, but that didn't happen. We just have to figure something out. Fact about Arsenal: when Wenger wanted to buy Arshavin, the deal was done for 8 million, but Putin stepped in and made us buy Arshavin for 15 million, as Arshavin played for Putin's football team. Nice fun fact.
Alt, you are the best, man.
Alt also says that cheered me up, to be honest. Thanks, Alt. I was getting a little salty, but this one cheered me up. Alt says, the Sesko lovers hating on Gyökeres. Even if we had purchased Sesko, even he would have struggled too with the chances we create. Exactly. It's like
more.
People
Look
were
at
saying
Manchester United.
Yeah, people were saying, Sesko was Arteta's guy and Gyökeres wasn't Arteta's guy. So that's why Gyökeres isn't working on it. It's like, what, do you think Sesko was going to dribble past 3 players? You think and score? Do you think Sesko was going to get the ball 5 times a game and just score all these goals? It's not going to happen. To be honest, Gyökeres probably doesn't even get that many passes.
No.
He probably gets like 2 or 3 a game.
The funny thing is like, I'm getting at halftime stats telling me like, oh, he's gotten 5 touches in the entire first half. I'm like, you're trying to insult him, but you're proving my point.
Yeah. The point is we're not passing him the ball. Yeah. Okay, I think we've kind of waffled on about
I know.
Gyökeres enough, and we're just gonna get into.
I just feel like the commentary on this is just all wrong. Like it's not like we've got enough of a sample. Like, he's just barely come back from injuries, and we're hammering this guy before he was even starting. By the way, it's only escalated now because we said, "Well, wait until he starts," and then it's almost
if he scored against Wolves, a lot of at least it would have been what's elevated? What's the word I'm looking for?
Alleviated.
Sorry, I'm tired. Alleviated.
No.
a little bit, but it's just not.
But for
So
me, this
before
is
I get
one more
into,
thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Now, one thing I said because you're touching on that. I heard people saying, "Oh, Gyökeres needs to score at least two today for me." Like, and this is the problem. Let's forget about like who fucking scores. I just want to win the game. Like,
yeah,
when he'll score, he'll score. But like, but saying today he must score or he's crap. Today he must score or he's crap. Today he must score or he's crap. And it's like, this is how you're building these agendas, and it's just, it kicks me off. Like, I wouldn't don't care if we score 7 goals and none of them are him. Like, anyway, that's it.
yeah, yeah. And PG agrees with you. He says even if he scored versus Wolves, they would have downplayed it. And yeah, we know how it is. We just that's a rival's jobs, but I think as fans of the football club, it's our job to try and protect the players as much as we can. I don't think it's good for us to be dishonest. I don't think it's honest to say Gyökeres has been an amazing 10 out of 10
Oh
signing and
no.
he meets or exceeds expectations, but I do think we should give him grace as fans and, try and at least protect some of our boys a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
just before I get into the next topic, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to consider supporting the channel as it helps us. It helps us. And thank you all for
Yeah.
your comments as well.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, these lives be getting a lot more fun. I love that you
Yeah.
guys are here. We've started a lot earlier today as well, and Alt77 is still
Yeah.
reigning with us on with all
Yeah.
his comments. So I love it, and big up to PG, even the cat, Lou, who was here earlier as well, and Tyrell. Yeah, big up to all you guys. Thanks you for contributing to the chat. It means so much. And yeah.
Yeah. And Alt also says,
Ooh, we've got a very
I have
special
a feeling
guest.
this season Arteta's a bit confused with the amount of options he has um, in his hand for attack. Plus, he tends to overthink. Sometimes the simple solution works, and I think you're right. I think we have a lot of attacking options, so that's probably why. Hand of Arsenal. This is probably not the real hand
No
of
way.
Arsenal.
I'm doing my research on this.
Hand of Arsenal is like the biggest Arsenal guy on Twitter.
This, by the way, if this is you, I just want to speak because I'm gonna look up because I
There's
can
no
tell you
way
this
it's
thing.
him.
If this is you, bro, honestly, much love for being here, and secondly, like, you are literally a legend. Sometimes in that transfer market window, when my hopes were being dashed on the floor and I was reading a lot of crap, I was like, wow, I cannot wait for Hand of Arsenal to say something. And you said something, and it always it hit like crack. Like, I really
Yeah.
hope,
If you
like,
are the real hand of Arsenal, you're the GOAT. If you're not the real hand of Arsenal, big up, bro. This is a legendary troll.
wait, I'm trying to figure it out.
Anyway, I just wanted to get into this next topic, which is you know, Jesus. Man City are up. They won their game 3-0. We thought they were probably going to drop points, but they didn't drop points. Are you worried? Are you scared? I'm worried, dude. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought Man City would drop a little bit more points, but they're chasing us and we've been here before. So, just want to ask you, how do you feel about that? Before we get into that, I'll probably just read some more of these comments. And Hand of Arsenal, are you the real one? Is he? Is he the real one?
Trying to figure
If
it
he
out.
is, this is a legendary drop. But if
He doesn't have on his link tree on his from his Twitter. He does not
Hand
have.
of Arsenal GOAT, yeah.
He is the goat,
As you
isn't
can
he?
see, Hand of Arsenal is the guy.
Nope. You're right. That was him.
Really?
Yep, that's him. Yep.
How did he find us? We're tiny.
Yep. And by the way, PG the cat picked it up. He's right. That was legitimately the Hand of Arsenal.
Awesome.
Big up to you, my friend.
Big up to
Thank
you, man. That's
for
like
finding
a legendary
our
drop.
podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
bro,
awesome.
can you, if you're still here in the chat, can you give us a, like, are we looking for somebody in January? Like, don't tell us a name. Just, are we looking at all for anybody in January? I would love to know if you're still in. No, big up to
Yeah,
you,
Alt the
bro.
777 is same thoughts as you saying. Give us some in the know, give us some in the knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Then we'll know if you're the real one. He wants to verify that. PG
Yeah,
says he's real. I've seen him on Latte Film.
yep, that was legit. Yeah, that was legitimately
And
the hand of Arsenal.
David,
Yeah,
also, thanks to David for coming up here. He said well deserved at the moment. Yeah, man. That's awesome.
yeah, dude, hand of Arsenal. You're like my hero, bro. You're
Yeah, he's
literally. I just, if you're still here again, and please comment again if. But I literally said I have
please
the big five.
continue to dunk on
Ornstein.
that
What?
what's that? What's that guy who's
Oh,
keep news guy who keeps
Indy Kyla. Indy Kyla.
Indy
Yeah.
Kyla? Please continue to dunk on Indy Kyla when you can. Thank you.
Yeah, but no, dude, my top five ITKs: Ornstein, Fabrizio, um, who are the other ones? Ben Jacobs and Semi Mokbel and Hand of Arsenal. Those
Out
are
of
my big
Arsenal, it's
five.
definitely number one for us for the Arsenal.
Yeah, but no, but in terms of like of all, big
Yeah.
five, top five.
Big up boys, it's me, Tyrell. Hey Tyrell. This is my second channel. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for always coming on here to support.
Yeah, and
Now,
by the way, we'd love to have you on the show one day. To be honest.
yeah, that face reveal is gonna be like golden. That's gonna be amazing. You should do that on like if we win the league, Hand of Arsenal should do a face reveal.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are your thoughts on City, winning that 3-0 and they're still chasing us? What are your thoughts on that one?
Okay, David, you still in here? Because I would love you to listen to what I have to say next. Guys, we sat here, I think 2 pods ago, because last time we were all talking about just basically Gyökeres, right? And I said I thought that City would drop points against Palace, and I thought they would drop points away at Sunderland. The fact that they won this game, but not only just won this game, but absolutely won it at a canter, is a bit of a message.
Ooh, the scoreline was a little if you saw it was
regardless.
They deserved to win, but it wasn't like a solid 3-0. You know what I'm saying? It was a bit
Look, to be fair, I only watched the 20-minute mini match of their game, but I think here he is. The hand has dropped some information for us. He says, I think it's important to show love and support all channels. Keep going, lads. King Kai is back soon. So here we go.
Thank you, friend. Thank you. This means a lot to us. It does, because we're tiny.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. And King Kai back soon. That's good. That's good news. We need him.
Big up to the hand of Arsenal, the GOAT of Arsenal ITK, the only real ITK, I think.
But, yeah, at least for us.
Yeah.
So yeah. You said you're feeling.
Yeah. No. Look. I look. To be honest, it's a combination of things. Our form at the moment is not very, very good. Now, Hand of Arsenal is a great time for you to lift the spirits of us, because that's a talent that you've got, even in your darkest moments. I know you had health issues during the summer, and you wouldn't take a break until we announced Victor Gyökeres. And of course, I think you played a big part in a lot of information about how that got across the line and stuff. But yeah, I'd love to get some. It's good to know that we're actually going to get Kai Havertz back, regardless of what we said about him already. Just having him back in the squad, and
we need more profiles. The reason why we went out there and got a striker is because we need a striker like Gyökeres in the team, and but we also need Kai in the team as well. And I think, to be honest with you, maybe the competition would be good for Gyökeres as well. Maybe when Kai comes back, and Kai's going to be very, very fired up, and he'd want to, because Kai, say what you want about Kai, I did blame him for, missing the chances to get us knocked out. He does love Arsenal. I feel that from him, and he does want to play, and he wants to start. So I think he is going to push Gyökeres when he
Yeah,
comes
and to be
back.
honest, I think that could be a good thing, to be honest. I mean, as much as I say, like, they're putting pressure on him, I think it's a different type of pressure than competition. I think competition is you have a competitive edge.
Yeah,
You're seeing this guy coming around you, and you're like, hey, look, I'm gonna gotta pick up my game. I think it's a bit different than fans literally giving you about 20 minutes to score a goal before they start booing you. I think it's two different types of pressure, right?
yeah,
Um, but one thing back to my original point on the Man City thing. Firstly, let's not sugarcoat things. Our form recently has been poor. This is probably our worst period of form in the entire season. And of course, I think there's many factors go into that, but whatever they are, that's just the fact. And at the moment, right now, City are they're looking confident. They're looking like they're ready to go on a run. I literally thought they would drop points this weekend. They not only did not drop points, they won 3-0. And by the way, it's on the back of going to win at the Bernabeu. So at right now, what I would say about Manchester City or about the whole situation is that Arsenal, we have a week. We have a week to rest up. We got a week to prepare for Everton, to look at ourselves. And I think we got to come out there and maybe not say put on a great performance because we are away, but just pick up the 3 points and
yeah.
let's keep moving. Like,
Mm,
we just need whatever do we do, but hook by crook. One thing I loved about what happened with that last moment is that we had a setback in the game and we still went ahead and we got the 3 points.
yep,
So as bad as it is, we're still top of the league.
yep.
And I mean, again, yes, now is different. My tune has changed. City are definitely a threat. I wouldn't say either of us right now are the favorites. I say the next team to crack is going to be in trouble. I think because if
I
they
mean,
crack,
if
we'll
we
push ahead.
if we
If
drop
and if
points and they win, they're the favorites because
That's
we
what I'm
still have to
saying.
play
But
them away.
at the same time, if they drop points and we push further ahead, then
Yeah, then the status quo is kind of
so
like yeah,
so right now it's sort of like the next team to blink is in is going to be on the back foot here in this title race.
mm,
So this is a critical time. Not only are we in congested December, we need to pick up all the points that we can until they drop points.
yeah,
And even
pretty much.
then, you got to win still to take advantage of that to create that breathing room again. So yeah, it's a bit anxious. I do feel them breathing down our neck. I do feel their experience in these moments, the fact that they never lose out on these races, Pep Guardiola, the form of Holland, the form of Foden, and another one, by the way, that float under the radar is the form of Shirky. He's now really picked up his game, and he is. I mean, I didn't even realize, by the way, that he's got like 6 assists already in the league.
Jeez, and he was injured for a big portion of that.
Yeah, it's so yeah. Overall, they're looking more solid defensively as well. So yeah, they are starting to put together. They're looking like the Man City of old again, and Rodri's still out. So yeah, it is
Horrible
it
news.
is anxious times, but we need to kind of stand behind our team. I think.
Yep.
What about you? What do you think,
Only
Cal?
Gunners, who's Tyrell, says City do look dangerous. I told people about it in the summer. Watch out for them. Yeah, man, it's not. Yeah, and he says big up hand of Arsenal, which, yep, of course. And
Yeah,
just
you
my
see
thoughts
how
on
my
it.
tone's changed. I was really super depressed, and then Hand of
Mm,
Arsenal like appears
yeah,
into my chat, and I'm like, oh wow,
the
special
thing is,
dude
I am
or
very
girl.
anxious. I'm very anxious. Unlike my co-host here, I never said that I don't see anyone challenging us. I always kind of felt that we were when we went 5 points clear. I thought we were like, okay, we are clear favorites. But now, not so much. I didn't expect us to this run of form. I didn't really expect it. Did see this coming. And City are capitalizing on it, and they are looking better than I thought they would. It might be silly, but we say this thing every year where City looks kind of not themselves at the start of the season, and then they start to get into form, and then they go on a run, and then they go on an insane run, and I just
Mm.
don't. I'm not interested in seeing that. I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to see it. And I thought it wasn't gonna happen. I still think there's a chance it doesn't happen, just because
It's yeah.
they're not, they don't have a lot of the players that they used to have. And I don't rate their players I don't rate this new bunch as much as I rated the old guard. Like as good as Chucky is, he's not, he's not like De Bruyne. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, but it's just that it's just this Pep quality, this Pep guy. He's a machine, and he's really the whole shark thing is true. They're really trying to hunt us down, and he just won't quit, bro.
I think it's
Like
a big Steve for that one.
Pep is
They have
like the
landed like
freaking Terminator, bro. It's like I don't know if any of you guys here have seen the first Terminator film, like not Judgment Day, but the very first one when Arnie's the bad guy. Like towards the end of the movie, they freaking crash a truck into him. They put a pipe bomb in him. Like they freaking, you know, they like he just won't die. Like he has just his arms and his torso, and he's just crawling towards you. And that's
oh
basically
my
how I feel
god.
about Pep right now. It's like this guy just won't die. In terms of his footballing,
That was a
in terms of
great
yeah,
that's a great analogy, Cal.
yeah. It's
Just
like
literally like
his
visualizing the
team's completely
Terminator.
like changed. He, fell off a cliff last season, but he just won't quit and he won't give up, And it doesn't matter what tools you give him, he's gonna try and win this league. He's
Yeah.
addicted to winning trophies. And yeah, I can't take it for granted, man. Like
At the
we
same
have to
time,
go
though,
out there.
we need to show that we're different. And I'm talking about as well as a fan base. Like we gotta be a little bit more calm because
It's
at
that's
this
not that's
point
not
in
gonna
time,
that's not gonna happen.
look,
To be honest
I
with you,
do
I'm gonna say this. All right, I know we want to be calm. We're not gonna be calm until we win, man. And I don't
and I
blame
get you. I
fans
get what you're
for
saying,
for
but I'm also
being
trying to
being
help us
anxious.
win.
I
You know what
know,
I'm
I
saying?
know,
Like,
but I don't blame fans for being anxious just because it's like, what can you do? It's like you've been
look,
this
I'm
close so
anxious. Like
long,
I'm
and it's
talking myself
if it
into it
was
too.
literally
So
if this was Chelsea chasing us, I wouldn't care. I
mm.
literally wouldn't care. You know
Villa,
what
do
I'm
you
saying?
care about Villa at 3 points behind?
No, I don't. It's this Pep. It's just Pep guy, bro. Like it's
Mm.
Pep. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's the only thing for me. And I think we've had enough games where we say it's okay to drop the points, and I don't think
Mm.
it's okay to drop the points
No,
anymore.
not anymore.
If
No
it was
way.
like 5 points ahead or 7 points ahead and we dropped points against Everton, I'd be like, you know what, it's fine.
I
But
actually got a
we're
question for
not.
you, Carlo.
We're not. So we have to go. Like we just finished this point. We
Yeah.
just have to go out there and we have to by whatever means necessary. I know it's away to Everton, but if we want to win that title, you can't be dropping points to Everton. I'm sorry. Like if we drop
Mm.
points to any team that's a little tough, any ground that's a little, tough, we're not gonna do anything. So we have to go out there and we have to go and win by hook or by crook.
Yeah,
Because
I
we
absolutely.
have no breathing room now. We have no
I
breathing
do
room.
want to ask you this question though, Cal. Would you have felt a little bit differently had the performance against Wolves been a lot easier? Let's say we took care of business in the first half, we won 4-0. Would
Of course.
would you feel a little bit different, even though there's the points difference between us and them would be exactly the
Oh, of
same?
course I feel differently because the form would be there. But
Mm,
we've dropped what? We've dropped in our last 6 games and we don't look good. In the Champions League, we look great, but in the Prem, we just don't look that great, you know?
mm,
And this time Saliba was back, I was saying in the game before when we lost to Aston Villa, I was saying, if Saliba wasn't there, you know,
right.
because of Saliba's not there, our build-up isn't as good and we're not as stable. He played Zubamendi and Declan Rice and Saliba,
Yeah,
and our build-up was still poor.
that's what I'm saying.
So what
We need
that
an
was my
excuse.
excuse before. What's my excuse now? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I'm 100% calm and I know what's going on when I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Um, Terrell switch back to his other account. You double handling, my friend.
Yeah. He says I think it'll be a draw. I can't lie, I'm a bit nervous for this Everton game. To be
Can I
honest,
challenge you then on that, Tyrell, though, a little bit for a second? Because for me, let's say because City's playing before us, right? If they're beating West Ham, let's just say what it is. They're beating West Ham at home. Okay, let's not even right. They'll go 1 point ahead of us in the league. For me, I would hard find to see that it would be a draw because of the fact that City would have gone ahead of us earlier in the game. So there would be a little bit of pressure on us to go out and win the game. There should be some sort of motivation behind seeing them go ahead and knowing there needs to be a response. I feel like it's a win or a loss. I don't see a draw, to be honest. I feel like it's going to go one or two ways. Would you
I mean,
would you think like I just see the psychology sometimes of these races. I've seen them before.
I
Like
can
when
see
that
us.
team wins,
I can see us capitulating and then getting a last minute winner, well, a last minute draw to equalize.
mm,
I think that's very, very possible. We try to break them down. We don't. We lose. We concede at a counter attack, and
yeah,
we don't score. And then in the last minute of the game, we score a last minute equalizer. I've seen that play out a lot of times. To
yeah,
be honest, I'm not very confident with the team right now.
yeah,
But to be honest with you, if we don't see a superb performance against Everton, I don't know what to say,
well,
because
that's the thing that I'm holding on to.
after that performance against Wolves and the anger I'm seeing from players like Declan Rice and the anger from the coach and stuff like that and the fans, like, you, after a week off to reflect, you go out there and you go and put in a good performance. And if we put in a good performance against Everton, we win the game. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Our chance, I don't know if you've noticed this season, like, our problem isn't finishing our chances. Our problem is chance creation, at least in the last game. You know what I'm saying? Or conceding in the last minute of games. So I think if we create the chances, we probably just win the game.
yeah, I look. The one thing I'm holding on to is just all of a sudden, we come out on this away day and the team's form is completely different to what has been recently. We come out out of the gates firing, all of a sudden, like, whoa, where did this come from? And I've seen Arsenal do that in the past, to be honest. I've
To be
seen
honest, it
us,
might suit us to be away from home, to be honest, if I be
yeah,
100% honest, because the fans right now in the stadium, they're anxious. I think coming back to another anxious Arsenal crowd would actually do more harm than good, which is
yeah,
really sucky to say about, our fans. But I think going away will help us.
yeah. The next two games for that though are going to be at the Emirates. But yeah, it's a massive game. And I just hope that we come out. As again, as I said, I've seen it on many, many occasions where all of a sudden Arsenal just come out and after a poor front of form, and all of a sudden you're like 3-0 at halftime. You're like, whoa. I've seen these games before.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Cal, you
have.
have too, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not like that's the one thing that I'm holding on to right now, which is we gotta break. We're gonna have to go back, like look back at what went wrong in some of these games, kind of do a review, and then just figure out what we got to do, and then just come out with a purpose. And that's kind of what I feel like needs to happen because it cannot be sluggish. We cannot be going deeper and deeper and deeper in this game, trying to figure out how to break down Everton. Like
Mm.
that would be for me. I don't know if I would make it through the 90 minutes.
Yeah. And well, I think we've kind of beat that horse. Well, to wrap up this conversation, I just wanted to ask, towards the end of December, how many points do you think we're going to be ahead, and how many points ahead do you think we're going to be?
My God, I don't want to sound hyperbolic, but I think two. I think we'll be 2 points ahead.
I have a feeling that
we're going to be behind.
What? Nah, I think we're going to be 2 points ahead as well.
Yeah, I do think that we're going to win out, but they will too.
By the way, if we're not ahead, you don't want to know my opinion. If we're not ahead by December, I'm sorry.
You know what? People, so funny. You don't know my opinion either. Like people forget what I was in episode 1. like people forget. Like we started playing so good. We're going like the performances were good, and everybody else was just dropping points, and I felt really good about this team, the momentum, and I also felt like we were different because all the signings. And I still think
I was thinking to myself,
we are different. I still think that we're different. So, like Terry pointed out, and I think this is important to show on the show. Of our next 7 games, all 7 of them, 6 of them were draws last year in the same fixture, and 1 of them was a defeat. Out of our next 7 fixtures, So this you can look at it in one or two ways, right? We can make up the difference in last year by picking up wins in these games, because all of a sudden we're picking up points now that
Yeah,
we
but
didn't do last year, and
points to
we were
teams.
doing fantastically with this season. When we've got and it gets our antennas up when we've got games that we know we fucked up in last year. This season so far, we've been spectacular in them.
Except
And
Aston Villa.
no, but Aston Villa last year we won away.
We win? Did we
We
win
won
that away?
2-0 away at home. Second game of the season, yeah.
Was that the one where Ollie Watkins like just was missing sitter after sitter?
There's one where I think Trossard did Trossard score two, or he scored definitely one in that to begin with. But we definitely scored. We won 2-0 in that game. So,
well, you heard it here first, guys. We both think Arsenal are going to be 2 points ahead by the end of December. And we're both not going to be very happy if we're behind. It's not going to be a good. That like
bro, my stress levels have been. Can I tell you, right? Since that Villa game, people have been on my ass, man. And then we won 3-0. People were still on my ass. And then we won 2-1 against Wolves, and people were still on my ass. Like, can you imagine what it would be like if we were behind?
Yeah.
And I made a prediction that we would never go behind the rest of the season.
Oh, did you?
Oof. But I did say, look, sometimes maybe we might go behind for a few hours because City might play before us, or Liverpool might play before us. So I did give myself that, because that's.
Oh, you meant by the end of the game week?
I meant by the end of the game week, yeah. So Arsenal, don't make a fool out of me. We can't even make it halfway through the season.
To be honest, like I'd rather go behind on this half than in the latter half. But to be honest with you, I have a very, very, very bad feeling if we manage to go behind. But anyway, we have one more topic that we wanted to discuss. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe, as it helps support us. Only if you want to do so. We're not forcing you guys. We just wanted to wrap this up talking about the injuries. Injury update. Gabriel Jesus is said to be back in December, according to the rumor room.
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Gabriel Magalhaes, that is.
No, Gabriel Jesus.
Did I say Jesus?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I meant Magalhaes. Ben White, he picked up an injury against Wolves, and he's actually out for 6 weeks, which is actually devastating because we've been running Timber into the ground. So now he's Timber's going to be playing
form too
every single game for the next 6 weeks. And Calafiori is now back because he's not suspended anymore as well. So that should hopefully provide some stability for us moving forward. What are your thoughts on this updates? And anything else that I miss?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think the Gabriel one is crucial. So if we actually, and you made a joke earlier in our private chat, like, that means he's still going to be back probably early Feb. But if that is accurate and that is true, and we're getting him back in this run, it couldn't have come anytime sooner, because I think all of a sudden it stabilizes us completely. It stabilizes our defense. It makes it easier on Rice and Zubimendi to do their roles as well. It makes it easier on Saliba. Everything gets better. I think I realized how big of a loss it'll be, but I kind of thought that we'd be able to cover it as long as Saliba was still there. But I do think that having him back would be a massive boost to the team and massive boost to our ability at a time where everything is kind of tight right now. But the other part of this, by the way, is what you said with Ben White, which is, I think it's gutting, because all of a sudden he was also starting to find form again and play, kind of remind us of what he was like at his best. And he was actually, I actually think it was a moment that really kind of impacted kind of how this game went on, having him go out, having everything switch, but also just losing him in the match, and knowing, how hard he's been fighting to get himself back to that position, and then to learn that. I think that does play a little bit of a part. I'm not using it as an excuse, but I'm just saying it would have been a blow. But the good part is that Calafiori is back from suspension. So what we would have is, a back four of Calafiori and Capier, Saliba, and Timber, by the way, with a week's rest as well. So I'm feeling a little bit less nervous, a little bit less red flaggy. And I do think that, look, with that back four, we beat Spurs 4-1 and we beat Bayern 3-1 with that back four. And, but again, I'm starting to feel like I'm be banging a drum now that's got a little bit less beat behind it, considering how strong this lineup was heading into this Wolves game and what that looked like. So at the moment now, I'm starting to be a little bit more nervous overall about our performance as a team, and that there's no more real excuses really to be made. But yeah, I think Calafiore being back should, I mean, at least from the suspension, should I think provide us a bit of a boost. And okay, yeah. So for now,
Yeah, I think obviously Gabriel Magalhaes coming back is probably that'd be one of the biggest because he was, playing like player of the season. So we need him, we really need him. We need our world class centre back pairing back. Feel like, and if
yeah.
Calafiore is also fit, if he's playing, and then we have a fit Timber playing, our back line's gonna be perfect. And then we have Odegaard fit, Declan Rice is fit, Zubimendi's fit, and then
I mean, at that point, we can play our best 11.
yeah, we could actually play our best 11.
So
And
it's really not like in terms of the injury crisis. I think we're
according to the main man himself, hand of Arsenal, Kai is also back soon. So it would mean that we would be the strongest that we've been. Granted that we don't pick up any more injuries. So
love.
by the end of
I'm gonna check
December,
his
going into
Insta. His
going into January, yeah.
yeah.
So
And by
yeah,
the way, yeah, I love
it
how
should
he came in here, delivered the goods, gave us an exclusive on Kai Havertz right here on Fire Them Cannons.
exclusive.
Because I'm looking at wait.
Kai is
Oh
back
no,
soon.
he did drop this news by the way in 14 hours ago. Havertz targeting the remaining December fixtures as a possible return. The German international's reintegration will be managed carefully, but he is pushing hard to make an appearance before this year closes out. Cautious optimism, but one to watch. So it was he. It's not an exclusive.
So it basically means that at least going into January, we should have almost our entire squad fit, which would be that's go time. Just hold the door in this in December window. Don't go behind City. Don't let them pick up momentum. Just keep on trucking by, keep on by hook or by crook. Just keep winning. That's
Yeah,
that's
because
that's that's all
at the same
we
time, let's
focus
not
on.
forget before Gabriel got injured and when this defense was fully fit, we were going on a historic run in terms of keeping clean sheets, and it wasn't like we were playing the easiest clubs either.
Yeah.
In that period of time, so like all of a sudden, I think we'd feel a little bit more confident, we'd be a bit more solid. We can have that confidence of knowing like we're going to be very, very hard to penetrate. We're not going to be giving up shots on target, like or shots on goal, like we were doing before. If we can get back to there, I think that was part of what created my arrogance a little bit. Was as well within the games we were giving up zero margin.
Yeah, we were just not conceding any chances or anything like that. It was like
So
during that time, it felt like, man, it felt
yeah, so if we
invincible.
can just get back to there, if we get Gabriel fit, and then you add that plus the fact that we've got a full array of weapons. So regardless of what you think about Victor Gyökeres's form, you can play a multitude of different of lineups. But one thing I will say, and we should be closing out soon with that though, is Arteta at that point needs to kind of figure out what is his best 11 and kind of let that team have a
Yeah, let it
run
rock.
together.
Yeah, let it
Because
rock.
right now
We
we're
need some
so
chemistry.
unstable. Like we
Yeah.
do have a great depth, but we're switching the lineup every single game, and these players aren't really like
Mm,
developing the chemistry they should.
yeah.
Like,
We need to
and
let
that's
it
part
rock.
of the Gyökeres problem, I think, in my
Yeah,
opinion, as well.
100%. And that's not necessarily all Arteta's fault, just because he kind of had to do what he had to do because of all these injuries. And then he's trying to manage people's minutes because he doesn't want to put himself in a situation where too many of his players are injured. So it's a very, very tough job. And I appreciate him still being top of the league and trying to push through. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
even he's
I'm
trying to
saying
open
that
the
as
door.
an Arteta critic.
Even he's trying to hold the door there, Cal. Like Arteta himself is
Yeah.
like, hold the door.
Yeah. So yeah. I think that pretty much wraps up everything we wanted to talk about today. Was there anything else you just wanted to mention before we close up?
Yeah, well, I think we basically cover everything in terms of Arsenal. Once again, guys, yeah, our thoughts and prayers are with the families of the people who died in Sydney. It's the first time for me that honestly some news like this is really close and very personal to my heart. So yeah, thoughts and prayers with all those people, and of course to all the people in our country. Like, hope we just can feel safe and secure. And yeah, we can have a show. I believe we're going to try to have another one on the weekend. Isn't that right, Cal?
Yeah, we're gonna try and do shows on
Oh,
Saturday as
wait.
well.
Big
Um,
ups to PG the even cat.
so, Everton don't have Ndai, Drewsbury, Grealish,
Sleepy
or
Hall, Grealish, or
Gui.
Gay.
Okay, sorry.
So
Really?
should be a
Oh
win.
yeah, I know Drewsbury picked up an injury in the Man City game. I'm pretty sure. I think,
Man
or did he
City?
pick it up in the game
You
before
mean
that?
Chelsea?
Oh, the Chelsea game. Sorry. Um, no Grealish. Oh, dude.
What's
To be
what's up with
honest,
Grealish?
yeah, I don't know, but like PG, I appreciate the confidence, but we just we just had
We just
a
barely
bit
beat
of a
Wolves.
scrap with Wolves, man. I'm not gonna be predicting any easy wins anytime soon. You
Yeah,
know?
you see, but you know what? Can I say we were sitting here with me and Seb, and I was like, guys, we can't underestimate any team this league. You're like, Anton, what are we doing here? It's Wolves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
But
think
but
this
at
was
the
a
end of the day,
humbler.
though, you're
This was a
also
humbler.
right though, because at the standard that we were holding, we still that should have been the case, right?
Mm,
Like just because it happened this way doesn't mean it's okay, and we
yeah,
accept that. We don't.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and a lot of teams are going to be weaker because of AFCON, and we don't really have. Do we have anyone going to AFCON at Arsenal? I don't think so.
that's why some of these guys are so in die is
Yeah.
missing because of Afcon. Yeah, yeah.
We don't have
And
any.
gay.
We don't have anyone going to AFCON. So,
Does City have
um,
anybody going to Afcon?
uh, Doku is he? Is he
Joku got
British?
injured, by the way. He's out for 6 weeks or something.
Oh,
Did you see the update from Fabrizio?
no.
He got injured in the Real Madrid game.
Oh,
Yeah, so they will be without Doku for a while. But
yeah, I
Doku
don't
is
know.
Belgian, by the way.
Oh, Belgium. Oh, okay. Um,
I don't. Oh, Marmoush. Marmoush is going away with
oh yeah,
Egypt,
he's
right?
Egyptian, but I don't think they've been
Oh,
using
if
him very.
something happened to Holland, I don't want to wish that upon him. I actually do hope Holland stays fit the whole year. I feel even better, right?
Yeah,
But if they
Marmoush.
do, they are
They've been
screwed for the
using
month of
they've been
January.
using Turkey and Foden. I don't think they've been using Marmoush that much.
No, but I'm
So,
saying in terms of like if something were to happen to Holland, they would have.
well, we all know it would be like if something happened to Salah last season for Liverpool. It was like they'd be finished. But anyway, thank you guys all for being here. Thanks PG for being in the chat for a pretty long time, man. You've been here chatting, contributing. Thank you very much. Also, big up to Tyrell as well. Big up to you on your second channel as well. Obviously, big up to Hand of Arsenal for dropping by. Bit of a random gold drop right there. Also big up to David for always being here, always supporting us. And also big ups to Alt the 777. Being a bit of a regular here as well, and just helping us add to the conversation. So yep, before we wrap up, please remember to like and subscribe as it helps support us, and we will see you on Saturday, which is I think Saturday night for us, which is I think Saturday midday for you guys.
I think we'll try to get in before the Newcastle Chelsea game. I think.
Yeah,
We'll try
we'll
to
get in
do.
before that.
Yeah. All right, guys. See ya. Whoa,
Awesome.
dude.